All right, welcome to another episode of Gray and I Slay, where we talk about life, real situations when it comes to aging. And we say Gray and I Slay is more than just about beauty and clothes. It's about the way you live your life and how you live your life, how you choose to live your life. And I always say, age your way, age bold, and age confidently. So today is going to be a great conversation. I'm so happy to have my guest. Some things that we can talk about as we age, and before we age, we need this information. We're going to be talking about wealth, money. I know that conversation makes a lot of people nervous, but it's not going to make us nervous today. You're going to learn a whole lot of things, and it's going to calm you down. If you're not retired, it's going to get you ready for retirement. If you're already retired, it's going to help you improve your finances. So stay tuned, listen in, gain as much as you can gain, take notes if you need to, or put this episode on repeat and listen to it over and over. So my guest today is Chamie Townsend, who is the owner of Elevated Wealth here in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
She's also an author of a book called Pretty Mind. I can't wait to get into this book because I want to hear about this. Mindsets and habits for next level living.
Yes, absolutely.
Then we're going to talk about that acronym for pretty too. So
Yes.
I love it. So Chamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank
how
you for
are you
having
doing
me
today?
I am amazing and I'm blessed, and thank you for having me. Yes.
I love that. Love it. So are you originally Columbus native or?
I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio, so
Cleveland,
I didn't
okay.
migrate too far down south.
Okay.
One of those things, I went to the Ohio State University expecting to move far, far away. After grad school, I came right back, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. Where'd you go to grad school?
I went to Kent State University.
So always Ohio.
Always Ohio.
Yeah.
Pure Buckeye.
You are a Buckeye.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's awesome. So tell me about a little about you. You know, you're growing
Sure.
up, and then we're going to get into how you got into finances. What drove you to becoming a certified financial planner?
Oh, absolutely. So
Okay.
I'm an only child. So my parents had all the time in the world to pour into me. And their philosophy about learning was all about continuous learning, curiosity, and just running with it. So I was very much a nerdy tomboy. I loved to have my dirt bikes. I loved basketball. I loved sports. And I loved mathematics and computers. So that's what my first love was.
Okay.
So that's what I studied at the Ohio State University, computer engineering and applied mathematics.
Okay.
I had a quarter life crisis because at the end of that tenure, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to go to grad school for either one of those fields. So I started researching what can I use as tools to launch to something else. I was always fascinated with business. And then I started reading more about financial markets. And I dove into that at Kent State, where I got a master's in financial engineering.
Hey, girl.
That's where you learn about, I fell in love with it. It was the best 1.5 years of study, getting to understand financial markets, arbitrage, options pricing, derivatives. They were grooming us either to go to Wall Street or work at a trading shop or be in risk management. Now, at that time, the thought of my salary being dependent on how well I could trade the markets was a little intimidating.
Okay.
So I thought I'll just be alongside the traders on the risk management. So I started at banks and utilities, working alongside the traders, running a lot of quantitative models, Monte Carlo simulations. This was around WorldCom, Enron imploding, so more regulation was coming through for the
Yeah.
executives to write off on. And I was one of the analysts presenting to the C-suite, like, hey, this is the underlying risk. These are what can happen with these random variables. It was great. And then I got into my 30s and I was like, this is kind of like corporate Dilbert situation. Like, I don't know how my dad's doing this. Like, how do you do this for so long? I wasn't feeling fulfilled.
Okay.
God is good because he laid me off. I got off the hamster wheel. I had about 3 months sabbatical while I was figuring things out. I did strength finders. I did meditation, exercise, and I started thinking, what do you want your life to look like? I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to be in the financial markets. I knew I wanted autonomy and freedom and flexibility. Lo and behold, that is a financial advisor.
Wow.
So I pivoted towards Edward Jones.
Okay.
That seemed like the best fit for me as a non-finance major. No one in my family is a financial advisor. They had the training and the resources to allow me to pivot. So I started my career at Edward Jones in Gahanna, Ohio,
Okay.
the Stoneridge Plaza, if you're
Yeah,
familiar.
Yes, ma'am. That's where I live.
And the rest was history. I never got bored. I used to get bored of my previous jobs. Never got bored because I'm working with people. I'm helping people. I'm teaching them. I'm helping them get to their goals. I'm retiring people. I'm helping to get the kids into school. It's very rewarding.
Yes.
And it's a trusted position, and I hold that highly, that I am part of the intimate part of their life in terms of finances. Because like you said, sometimes you don't want to look at it, or we feel ashamed or embarrassed, but it's always a non-judgmental zone. And then last year I decided, you know what? I want to launch my own practice. I had gotten my CFP, my Certified Financial Planning designation, My clientele looks a little different.
Okay.
There are not that many Black women in this industry. I thought engineering was I was a unicorn, but I'm very much a unicorn
Okay.
as a Black female
Wow.
business owner, as a certified financial planner. I looked at the numbers. It's not even 1%. It's not even 0.5%. It's half a percent.
Oh my gosh.
So I know that I'm here to help new generation of investors that feel more comfortable with either a woman or person of color. That's going to really be their cheerleader, their advocate, not talk down to them, not, make them feel any kind of way about where they are. I'm always about elevation. That's why I love the word elevate. No matter if you're doing $50 a month, you got the million, you got the 10 million, whatever, we are always looking at next level living.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked for a while, but that's
fine.
It's a tall elevator speech. It's a really high building. This is my elevator speech in terms of how I got here, because I would never imagine I would be here doing what I'm doing. But I love it every day. I'm helping people.
Conversations around your dinner table was it about finances at all?
No. I mean, I gravitated. My mom jokes because I had a little cash register and I used to. I'd be like $9.99. Everything in the store costs $9.99 apparently. And in the 80s, that's kind of high. Like, oh, this is a piece of gum. It's $9.99. Like, what are you doing? But she said I just love money, and she's like, well, I don't know.
Saw it.
Yeah, she saw it. I love Monopoly. I still love Monopoly to this day, and it's kind of gone over to cash flow, another game. But it was just fascinating to me. It was numbers. It was money. It was buying things, managing things.
Wow.
Just gravitated toward as a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
So elevated. What does that mean to you?
Elevated every day.
Every day.
Constantly elevating ourselves.
Okay.
Never stagnant.
Okay.
No, I look at my parents. My dad is 82 years old. He's learning how to fly a drone. He's doing Tai Chi. Like, he is always curious, right? He's not the average 82-year-old. That's awesome. In my bloodline. Right. That's in my bloodline. My mom is constantly, she wants to work on her PhD. She's doing things. She's learning. She's reading. She's learning about AI. It's in my blood. I can't help it. So I come from educators. I come from very strong-willed people. And, you tell us it's not no, it's just not now. How do we figure it out?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very good. I love that. So is your clientele mostly like women or?
It's a mix, but I would say yes, mostly women. Okay. And it could be a mix of married or single. But yeah, I say definitely women. Black women are definitely coming to me. Okay. If we look at the statistics, Black women are excelling in education and income, but we just don't know what to do with it. And if we're kind of nervous and shy, but they know they want to make the next generation better, maybe not starting from zero. So they're seeking that help. And I feel like I said, I make it a non-judgmental, very comfortable environment. And we're working together on a customized plan for you. Yeah. Not a cookie cutter, right? We're talking, we're figuring out, we're problem solving, we're engineering, right? That's what I like. Yeah.
I love that. So, the scripture in the Bible, everybody takes it, they misquoted strong and wrong every single time. That money is the root of all evil.
Oh, yeah.
When it's not money,
it's the love of money. Yes. I was like, nope, you forgot something. Yeah. The love of money, right? So you can be wealthy, you can have these things, but how are you? It's not ours anyway. How we're being a good steward of it. How are we being a good Samaritan? How are we using our wealth, not just selfishly and greedily? How can we change and transform lives? How can we elevate other people when we're blessed with this? And sometimes God doesn't give us what we need or what we think we need because we're not ready to handle. We can't even handle what we got going on here. Right. Okay, we can't handle 100,000. How are we going to handle 1 million? How are we going to handle 10 million? Yeah. All right, we need to learn, be a good steward of it, pray over it, have the discernment so that we can elevate ourselves as well as others. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody who thinks that it's too late. Is it too late?
Never too late. Okay. It's never too late. Knowledge is power. I mean, that's cliche, but, being open-minded, the mindset. If you tell yourself it's too late, if you keep repeating that, I can't help you, honestly, because your mind is so powerful. But if you say, hey, you know what? Let me talk with her. Let me learn. Let me see. Let me bring the kids, the grandkids. We're gonna figure something out. Yeah. Small steps. Keep moving. Even if they say, you can't get there by running, you walk. You can't get there by walking, you crawl. But and if you got to take a break, just take a break. But keep moving, right? So
somebody in their 40s. That's, thinking about retirement, what are 3 things that you would say?
Oh, 3 things. And now they've never talked to a planner or anyone yet? Yeah. Okay. I would say 3 things. Think of yourself as a business. Think of yourself as the CEO of your life. Think of yourself as, okay, first, I need to take an assessment of where I am. Where am I right now? and let's get into it. Everything from cash flow to debt, investments, who's in the plan. Our family structures are different. Are we taking care of parents? Are we taking care of extended family? Our health. These are the things that we need to think about. I would say step number 2, I would definitely say seek out your people. Your C-suite, right?
Yeah.
Companies, if you think yourself as a company, we have the treasurer, we're the CEO, the CFO, we have all these people. Build your team. I don't know everything, and I always look for people that help and assist my clients. So attorneys, and it could be attorneys or realtors or business attorneys, estate planners, tax people, enrolled agents. We need to work together because we all have a different lens, but helping you get there. I might manage the investments and the plan, but we need these other experts in your corner to hear where you want to go, and we problem solve for you. Just like a company has the C-suite, we want to help you get there. And then I think step number 3 is, honestly, life is a joy. And I tell my people, like, what are you passionate about? Because we don't want to look back on our life and it's like, oh gosh, I wish I should have, would have, could have.
Yeah.
And I really encourage my clients, like, what is your passion? What would you do for free? And how can you monetize that? Because I've encouraged a lot of clients to, like, what do we think about business ownership? Or what do we think about, legacy, these kinds of things. So kind of getting them off the hamster wheel, so to speak, of life and really honing in on, because that first 40 years went by fast.
Yeah, quick.
Right? Which is scary because I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
What's the next 10, 20, 30, 40? How's that going to look? And then when you look back, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Right? So some financial things, but really life. It's all about how can we take control of what we can control when there's a crazy world around us that's distracting us, right? And as humans, we want to control everything.
Yeah.
And that's a faith walk too.
Yeah.
But the things that we can control, how can we really fixate on it? How can we build a plan? How can we move forward?
Yeah.
And who can help us? Because that's the other thing, as Black women, it's hard for us to ask for help.
Yes.
That's not how we were raised.
That's right.
I mean, some of us are told, okay, you got to cry, go cry in the closet and come back out and get it together and fix your face and move on, onward, upward, suppress those feelings. That's not healthy. We need to lean on each other.
Yeah, for Black men
Yeah.
too, though.
Black men,
because they
everybody,
don't-
we're humans. We need each other.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not solitary creatures. When you're up and I'm down and you're down, we just help each other, right?
So what's the worst scenario you've seen in your client as far as, somebody coming to you seeking help? Has there been a situation where that was just like, oh my God, can I help this person? Or is every situation...
I'm a very optimistic person.
Okay.
I would say some of the situations that doesn't work out, it's them not wanting to do the steps. Think of it as a doctor. I use a lot of health in it. Like, we could go to the doctor, we have these ailments. The doctor says, you need to get on the treadmill, you need to eat these foods. And then we go back out there and we sit on the couch and eat the pizza.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, I don't know why I'm not healthy. All right. So there are people that don't even, first of all, there's people that don't even seek. They're doing things. They don't even seek help. They just keep living. There's people that seek help. They don't make change. And there are people that seek help and get the change. So when when the people get here to me, we might have conversations. It might be years. I've got prospective clients I've been talking to for years. They still haven't come. They want to, but not quite there.
Okay.
That is the situation I cannot help. So I would say I've had clients with all kinds of different financial issues. We walk through, we babysit it, and if I can't find, maybe you need a financial therapist, right? Maybe there's some financial trauma, we need to dig deeper. That's not my wheelhouse. I will connect you with a financial therapist.
Okay.
Maybe you have financial enmeshment or financial infidelity. All these terms we're not familiar with, but psychologically they're creating barriers to us accumulating wealth.
Wow.
But even if I send you to a financial therapist, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
It's all about how much effort you put into it with the resources and experts that you're seeking out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm willing to help people,
That's
just
good.
get started, but it's a teamwork. I can't pull you.
If you don't want to put
if
in
you
the
don't,
work,
yeah, if you don't want to put in the work,
in.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is mindset when it comes to I know you mentioned mindset. So it sounds like a beautiful thing once you have, like life laid out. But what is it when it comes to finances? How should our mindset be when it comes to
I think it all starts with, I always tease about Saturday Night Live. I think it was Jack Hanley. He just talking in the mirror. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. It seems silly, but we have to put ourselves in, say I'm a millionaire. You don't have to actually be these things, but if you speak it into existence.
Yes.
So people that are
Yeah.
not quite there, start talking about it. I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm safe, I'm secure, I will find a way, I will manage my money. So even verbalizing those things and putting you in a mood to, okay, today I don't want to do it. I'm gonna look at a budget and I'm gonna get excited about the budget. The budget gives me control. I like to be in control. My budget gives me control. So just it was like tricking yourself. You got to trick yourself into these things.
Yeah.
Just like going to the gym. I don't feel like going to the gym, right? But I have to tell myself, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
Just do it. Get up and go.
Change that mindset.
Change the mindset.
Yeah.
So we don't say no. We might say, I don't feel like it, but I still got to do it. And then once you start changing those mindsets, you're changing your micro habits along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting in the habit of checking it every week or checking. You start forming those habits and you start building more confidence.
Yeah.
When you feel confident, especially women,
I know, right?
it's just like, you can't tell me nothing. I know where my money's going. I know what it's doing.
Yeah.
I know I feel protected. I have the insurance in place. I plan for the unexpected. I'm living in my passion. I have people around me. I have a tribe of people, professional people that are in alignment with my goals.
Yeah.
You start feeling way better.
Exactly.
But it's that mindset.
Yeah, that's true. So people who have kids, little kids, like newborns, what should they be doing when they, when they first become parents? What kind of safety measures should they be doing for their children when it comes to finances? Or should they be doing anything?
In terms of teaching them or setting them up or
setting them up?
Oh, let's talk about the teaching.
Yeah.
So my dad used to play games, but they weren't really games. They were learning exercises. So when I was little, this is how nerdy it was. I had a little shopping cart. I would go to the grocery store, a little Fisher Price. I would put stuff in there, and then we get to the counter and put them on there. And then when they told you the total, he would say, "I'm giving her $80. What's the change? You can't look up there." So mental math. He's teaching me like figuring it out or showing me how different bills and coins, just very basic money management.
Were you?
I don't know, 4 or 5. I mean, very basic. And then sometimes I had little red calc, little nerdy things. They just, preparing me for basic skills. Because sometimes when those cash registers go out, those people are like, they can't do change.
Yeah. That's
right.
true.
So just some basic things, including your kids in your budget. Like we're talking about our money today. This money's coming in. This money's going out. Hopefully there's more money coming in and going out and we're saving. Right. I'll give you another quick story. I don't know I have to ask my mom. I don't remember doing this. So I was talking. So maybe I was like 3 or 4 and I wanted something from the store. My mom said, no, we don't have the money. I said, let's go to ATM. Oh, she's like, oh, no. Little girl think we can use the money box. Just go to the money box. Just go to the money box. I don't know what the problem is. Just go to the money. I know. So, okay. So that was like, we're not buying stuff for you. You're going to earn your money. You're going to start. So now I have to make decisions like, ooh, I want ice cream. I don't want that toy car, but I don't have the money. So I have to make decisions or I have to wait till I earn some more money. So teaching those things at a very young age, money doesn't grow on a tree. We have to figure out, we have to make decisions. We have to control ourselves. We have to discipline ourselves. So we can't just live it all and then just I didn't know about debt at that age, but I just knew I didn't have money. Yeah. Now we could be negative, right, nowadays, but I just knew I didn't have enough. So those are some things you can start teaching at a very young age. Okay. In terms of preparing them, tools that you can do to prepare them, 529 plans. 529 plans are amazing vehicles that you can set aside for your children. I won't go into all the details of all the different provisions, but it's basically, in essence, taxed free if it's used for qualified expenses or tax deferred. It's a vehicle that you have control and ownership. You can change it to the beneficiary. There's provisions for the beneficiary to put it towards student loans. They've even incorporated with the new Security Act that they can, if they don't use it all, put a certain amount, start rolling it into a Roth. Right. So there's so many ways to play the tax game, to save, all these things that we're innately afraid of because we're not familiar with it, that can actually help with this wealth gap from a very young age.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Wow, I love that. Okay, so if someone wants to retire comfortably, what would you say?
We need to talk. We need, first of all, like, what should tell me about your retirement? What are we doing? And because everyone's going to say something differently. I can have someone saying, I'm in Dubai shopping. Okay. I have someone, I'm tired of people. I'm in a cabin in the mountains, or I'm just local with my grandkids. There's different dollar amounts associated with that. I want to take 1 major trip a year. I want to take 4 trips international. So what we're really trying to do is draw out what is your lifestyle going to cost you? Yes. Tell me about your history of your family. Is Nana 102? Or are there any, can we kind of figure out lifespan, right? So you see what I'm
Sure.
saying? And then
Yeah.
we're looking at your risk tolerance. We're looking at what you currently have in terms of assets and cash flow being potentially pensions and Social Security. So I'm just trying to draw it out so we can engineer it, and then I can show you a model to see where we are. If we're not on track, let's talk about how we can make some changes now. And if we are on track, let's talk about how we're protected, taxes, legacy, gifting, charity, all these things.
Yeah.
So we're working that plan. The plan is dynamic; it could change, right? But we have to know, we have to see where we are.
Okay.
So I'm
Now, is that
talking,
your,
yeah.
Is that your initial meeting with them?
Oh, the initial meeting, no, we're not gonna do all that.
Okay.
I don't make people's heads explode.
Like, what?
Well, no. Initial meeting. So I have a 3-step process.
Okay.
So I gave you, that's basically, that could be an ongoing relationship. But when someone first meets me, because I know they can be nervous, Carol, my admin, she's amazing. We're going to make people feel comfortable, right? A lot of analogies, healthcare is like being in a doctor's office on a table in a little paper gown talking about your issues. Nobody wants to do that. So same thing with finances. Yeah. So we're just talking, we're getting to know each other. I'm answering questions. We're talking about the tools and the technology. That's the initial consultation. Okay. We're talking, I'm very transparent about costs. Do you want investment management? Do you want the planning? Are we doing both? What are your priorities? Tell me about your family, kind of what you did with me, right? We're talking just initial conversation. The second step would be the engagement agreement. Okay, take some time. I'm not a high pressure salesperson, right? Take some time, look over it. If you have additional questions, we're going to go through that. Then we're going to kind of talk about, okay, how do you envision us working together? How often would you like to meet? I don't think we're meeting every day, every week, but we're meeting monthly or meeting every other month or meeting quarterly. Are there things that we need to really hunker down on? And then we kind of step back and you do your thing and we come back as an accountability partner. So it's very customizable. Then once we determine that in an engagement agreement, we get some documents signed, then we're going on to onboarding. Okay. I'm a tech person, so we got to know how to use the technology. We're going to use the financial planning software. We're going to get you set up with your investment account portal. We're going to get you set up with text messaging, the emailing, understanding how we communicate. So that's the onboarding. So I do three steps. Okay. And then we say, okay, when do we want to get started? And then we go off from there. So I envision that we're going to be working together for a long time, so there's no reason to rush things in the beginning. And then some people, I think I had a young lady show up a year later after further engagement. She popped up on my calendar. And my calendar is, oh, she's like, yeah, I was just out there, and like, I need to call Chamie because she's younger. She's like, I just need to start adulting. Okay, I'm ready. I'm here, right? I'm glad. I was so happy to see you back on here, and now we're making a plan. Okay. So I don't rush people because sometimes it is a lot. Particularly if you've never worked with a financial advisor or financial planner.
It's a lot. It's be sitting there, I'm like, my eyes are crossed. Like, oh my God, what are you saying? Just make it put it in layman terms so I can understand what you're talking about.
If we need the analogy, like the mutual fund, is this pizza, or do we need to, or some people want to read the fact sheet, I can meet you where you are in terms of how you're learning and how in depth do you want to get? Do you just want to get in the car and drive, or do you want to pop up the hood and look at all the components? Yeah. Right.
So what are all the accounts, because they come with probably a 401k from their employment. So should there be other accounts also as you're still working? Should there be other accounts?
That's a great question. There could be, because most of us are familiar with our employer plans, 401ks, the 403bs, the 457s, whatever, the IRS number, the weird numbers, right, from the IRS. But there are ways that we can save outside of work. Some people aren't aware of that. Okay. So as an individual investor, there are IRAs, individual retirement arrangements or accounts is what we call them. But there's ways that we can make contributions, either pre-tax or after-tax. And that's where we talk with the tax person, like, based on your situation, it's like the candy, the now and later. When are we going to do these taxes? Yeah. What makes sense in terms of what we have going on? How are we going to max these out? On top of that, we can just open up a regular investment account, a brokerage account, and figure out it's taxable, right? But how do we navigate that? And what is that bucket for? Is that for retirement funds? Is that for just later funds or emergency? Everyone's different. Yeah. But we're always talking about diversification, tax diversification. Not just asset class diversification or sector, tax diversification. Yeah. Tax deferred, tax free, taxable. So it's all about putting the pieces together and going back to, are we on track? Like, are we on track, or do we need to add more to any one of these buckets, and which buckets should we be working on? Yeah, that's a great question.
Now, what if they have like just a regular savings account, which is like what, 0.01?
Right. So yeah, exactly. So great. We do need emergency cash. That is awesome. That's great to get in that habit, but that's emergency cash. To try to save for retirement at 0.0 whatever %,
That ain't
Either it's going to take a
happening.
whole lot of money or a long
lot,
time, which usually
yeah.
we don't have.
Yeah.
So we always navigate that space of what we should have in emergency cash based on your household. And even then, there's high yield savings accounts. Like, can we leverage high yield savings accounts to get a better rate than just a regular bare bones savings account? And then on top of that, do we need to do some other type of investments in this area outside if you're hitting these other goals, right? Or do we shift that to the 529s, or or starting a business or a house or whatever? Because a lot of people want to buy homes, they want to help their children or grandkids. So we really have to have the goals stacked out alongside, so I can see kind of some solutions to recommendations to help clients.
Oh my God, it's a lot of sad stories out there because people, maybe their parents didn't save well, so now here they come and they have to, now financially.
And that's right. In our communities, I do see that. So it's not just, usually we expect inheritance, right? It's almost the other way around. Like, we need to send dollars out to take care for elders, which a lot of us do.
Yeah.
So that's another component of, okay, well, how much are we funding them monthly? Are we funding for unexpected things or large expenses? How does that look? And how can we model that in alongside with your main goals, right? To see how we can do both of those things, or do we need to scale back somewhere else to hit these other things? Yeah. But that's where I do the homework. I do more of the homework, and I present it and I talk you through it, and kind of see like which one's a higher priority, which one should we focus on more, and maybe this is just a season of something, and then we switch over here later on, right?
So as life continues to happen, you guys you look and see where
absolutely
things should move,
right? Because even the pandemic, I had clients that were going to retire in 2022, and it's like the pandemic hit. Like, can I retire early? And we started looking at numbers, like, well, yeah, but what if can you not spend $500 less, right? So, or this, or do we want to? How are we going to really make sure you're funded for retirement if we're shaving off 2 years of income and just looking at it, right? So the thing is, it's great if you can have the plan built out ahead of time, because it's a dynamic, living, breathing plan that we can adjust as uncontrollable things like 100-year pandemics hit, or anything from divorce or death, or these other things that happen to impact us. But at least we can go back to the plan and make adjustments and see how it's gonna play out. Okay.
Wow. So you do workshops? You come and
I do. I tend to go to more organizations, so I like to kind of go where the people are, and I enjoyed speaking. I was just at the Columbus Association of Black Journalists. I've done the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. So wherever I am invited, I would gladly come, and I can tailor the presentation based on the needs of the audience or the participants. The information is key. We can no longer be afraid of it. Yeah, we can no longer be afraid of it.
Right. So what would you say to a person who's like a homemaker who works part-time?
That's a great question. Because my mom pulled back, and she sacrificed for the family to help with my education. Just being knowledgeable. It's okay to be in the passenger seat if your partner is driving and you're focusing on making a home and taking care of the children or elder care, but know what's going on, because I've had some situations where women are divorced or widowed. They had no clue about accounts. They don't know what's being paid. They don't know what's what. But at least keep your ear open, and hopefully your partner is very transparent. Like, okay, hey, look, babe, this is this and this and this. If something happens, pull this up or call this person, right? Yeah. This is the insurance, like being very open, right, about that. It's okay if someone else is driving, but not having that awareness can put you in a very, very difficult place. Exactly. Statistically, women, particularly elderly women, but more mature women, they end up in poverty, either because just, either draining the finances down for long-term care with the spouse, or not knowing, or there's financial infidelity, the things they don't know about. Right. So it's a dicey situation, and all couples have different ways to manage money, whether it's together or separately, but just understanding the interdependency of your finances and at least having an awareness, just God forbid something happens.
Ooh, that would be so heartbreaking. Have you had a situation like that with any of your clients that just didn't know?
It did.
That money was hidden, or just didn't know what was going on.
I can think of several where, their partner that wasn't exactly honest, and fortunately they had good divorce attorneys to uncover and really make sure they knew what was what during the mediation. But just imagine being married to someone for 30 years and then you just didn't realize there's all these assets out there that you had no awareness of. Yeah.
It's really sad. Okay, so how has faith played a part in your business aspect or just your financial personal life? How
Absolutely.
has faith played a
I'm
part?
glad we prayed before this. I'm very aware of where my discernment comes from and
Mm-hmm.
how I've gotten to where I am today. It was by hard work, but it's ultimately by the ultimate provider and his discernment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on a personal side, I'm very much aware that I'm being a good steward. It's not mine. I'm a good steward.
Yeah.
I need to go back and take the test. I've been busy launching the practice, but I did study the CKA, or Certified Kingdom Advisor, which is a way to look through a biblical lens through investing and stewardship, debt, all of these things, to make us to be more accountable to the ones that choose the faith-based investing and
Yeah.
planning, right? So
Mm-hmm.
from a personal perspective, I know that I would not be here at all if I did not hear and learn and to take that discernment into heart.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding that, yeah, to be a good steward and to elevate yourself. And as an only child, as someone that's not married, that doesn't have kids, I might have to make sure that I'm extra careful that I can provide for those counting on me, for the elders in my family,
Yeah.
for those around me, for godchildren. It's just me, myself, and I right now,
Yeah.
right? But I take that seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
then for clients, just opening their eyes to there are investment vehicles that do different screenings. Suppose you're not comfortable with certain stances, that there are some biblically based investments that we can look at. So if you're not wanting to invest because you don't want certain companies, there are certain investment vehicles that screen for that. So
Mm-hmm.
just sharing those details. Or perhaps maybe you're okay with investments, but maybe you have a certain mission or calling that you want to do with your wealth. How can we, maybe it's a donor advised fund or some charitable, what can we do now to help you use those dollars accordingly, right? That makes you feel fulfilled, that God is leading you to help with these things
Yeah.
through the wealth that you're generating.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but you know how churches they hone in on that 10%.
Mm-hmm.
10% to this, and always a love offering for that, and another offering for that, and then you don't have anything. The person who they're asking the money from doesn't have anything saved up for themselves.
Right. So I'm
So
a firm believer in there's time, talent, and treasure. So I can give to the church in other ways, right? I'm probably going out to here once a week. I go help set up the children's ministry. Now I do some other things to tithing, giving, but I really pray on it. I think it's a very personal decision in terms of how you're going to honor God and give to Him. And
yeah,
I feel like some organizations, I've heard of churches want people's W-2s. And I think that's a little
yeah, I
ridiculous.
think that's
That's
just
ridiculous. Like
that.
to me, it's a
My
personal
finger is up, like,
uh,
excuse me,
right.
time to
I think it's
go.
I think it's
Yeah.
very personal decision between you and God how you are
Yeah,
tithing, and it's not
how
just
you give,
monetary.
yeah.
Tithing your time, tithing your
Hmm.
talent. You can do all these other things. I know the bottom line with the church. So I get some, you know, my cringe factor, right, when
Yeah.
there's churches that are really honing in on that and
Hmm.
not telling their parishioners, hey,
Yeah,
this is
not
what it means to
teaching.
give back
Yeah,
to God, right?
exactly.
Give back. You could be making food for your neighbor, right? That
Hmm.
costs money. That takes
Yeah.
time. You could be doing other things outside of the church to
Hmm.
demonstrate being a good Christian and being a good loving person
Yeah.
that's not tied to this specific dollar amount. So that's my personal stance on that
Hmm.
because yeah, I remember I was at a church one time visiting and the pastor's up there talking about give your bus fare money. I was like, what in the world? And the co-pastor got a Jag too. So I'm like, is he gonna
Now,
pick me up
come
in the
on,
Jag? Like, come
exactly,
on. So
right.
like there's this whole some of these,
Yeah.
you have to discern which which
Hmm.
institution is
Hmm.
really honing on the true message
Yeah.
and going to the Bible. If you feel like if we're feeling a certain way, that could be discernment. Like I don't
Hmm.
know if that's right, or show me which verse are you taking that
Hmm.
from, right? So
Exactly.
I'm a researcher, always curious,
Yeah.
and I pray over like that didn't feel
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So I'm grateful my church is very open minded about that,
Hmm.
and we do not pressure people.
Yeah.
We don't even pass play. It's in the back. You can do it
Yeah, do what you
electronically.
do.
It's
That's what I
between you and
love now.
God.
It's like,
Like,
yes,
it's just, yeah,
exactly.
we're not going to pressure or lock people
Hmm.
in there till
Right.
they get them. I was like, oh my
Lock the
goodness,
doors.
lock the doors. What is going on? Is this what Jesus
Is
would do? I don't
it's
like, I
like,
don't,
what
I don't
is
know
happening?
what is happening. So yeah, just stay
Yeah.
alert and in
Hmm.
tune, right?
That's right. That's not the main
Right.
message. Money.
That's not how it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
No.
No.
No. No. No. No. Yes, giving. Yes, I absolutely believe in it. I really do.
Hmm.
But don't make that the main topic.
Right.
Every time I walk in the door, I gotta feel like you need this, you need that. We need $500 line, $300. Like, I've been to
Right.
services like that too. They
Oh,
had a
really?
line. Oh
Oh, they
yeah,
had, wow.
lines.
Oh, they call it out.
$1 line.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can give 200, stand in this line.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody else just sitting. They know who's not giving because you're sitting.
Wow.
You're still sitting, and it's like this is.
And then
like,
you
this
have the
is
guest
so
sitting there, because I would
not
be a guest
right.
like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
is not
coming
right.
back.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, not
not
come
come
back to
back.
this service.
Right.
No.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a great question.
Well,
So,
good,
yeah.
good. Okay, so what's next for you? What else do you have
Oh,
going on?
it's living life.
Okay.
You know, even from what I'm doing here, I celebrated a year with Elevated Wealth Advisory
Oh, so I
Group.
was going to ask you
Yes.
next.
So we're
It's
in
been
year
1
two. It's
year.
been great. The business plan is tracking along here. Being more present, right? So balancing, I said I was at the gym this morning, going to the gym, walking the dog, saying hi to the parents. I was out with friends last night, taking care of clients. And even it's funny, my clients will check me, and I love my clients because yesterday I was I was trying to work offsite. My internet was acting up. You know how you like, oh, it's not loading, and I'm like, I can't even work. So the stuff that I had promised my client, and I emailed them like, I'm so sorry, my internet's slow, I'm offsite, and I will get this to you straight away tomorrow, Saturday. And the client wrote back like, get some rest, like. You can get us the notes, like, just make sure you get. So they're even like, it's fine. Like, we understand you work hard, you take care of us, you keep open communication, because when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So they're like, no, it's not urgent. So I love that clients even help me stick to my own boundaries, right? You're not supposed to be working on a weekend. Saturday and Sunday is for, friends and family, chores, church, relaxing. Getting some rest.
Yeah.
So in terms of what I'm working on, really adhering to, the balancing of, my own self-care, my family, my friends, planning trips. I planned a trip to Panama, talking about some other things. So
okay.
yes, so
Very
working hard,
nice.
playing hard,
Okay.
taking care of people. That's what I do. Yeah.
So how did Elevated Wealth start? So this is 1 year.
This is 1 year.
So did you always have your office? Did you start in your home, or how did it start?
Because of the industry, I could not. So the thing was, I was researching with all that free time during COVID. I was like, you know what, Chamie, you've been at that time, I think I've been there, eight or so years. You've been at Edward Jones. You don't really know much about what else is out there. Unfortunately, with Edward Jones, there's no pathway to being owning your own practice. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to stay this path of, staying here, growing your client base, but never owning the practice, or do you want to?
Did you move up in the organization?
So wait, you move up in terms of your title's the same, but your practice, your revenue's growing from your client base.
Okay.
But you never own your branch of your clients. Now, to do that, I would have to leave. So I was like, well, I'm going to leave. That's a huge risk, but it could be a huge reward. So I was researching. So that's one of the reasons I started studying for my CFP. It's like I wanted that knowledge. That's one of the reasons my parents and I, we built a house together. So we're doing the whole family compound situation. But, they came down from Cleveland during COVID. My other house was not suitable. All the bedrooms are upstairs. It wasn't big enough. Got the dog, their stuff, my stuff. Okay, this is not working. So they're at the age, like, I don't think it makes sense for them to buy another house. They're too healthy for, senior living. I said, what if we pooled our resources together, like some other ethnicities, pooled our resources together, built a house. So that's why I ended up in Pickerington.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm clearing the debt. We're building a house. We're doing all. So I'm doing things underground, right? Because I can't announce it. Because when I go in there to that Edward Jones office, I call my manager, my regional leader, and I quit. I'm done. That's how the industry works.
That's it.
They all access done. You walk and I'm up and running. So in the background, I had to get everything up and running and launch. Yeah. So it's one of those things. There's a non-compete. So I had my 1 year non-competes over. Great. A lot of clients find me anywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on either. They're called. What happened? Where are you? Yeah. How can we move? Like, great, come on. But I couldn't solicit.
Like, could they move?
Right. Absolutely, they can move. But I couldn't. I can say, hey, Susie, come. No, I have to, you come to me, you ask enough questions. Like, how can I just, okay, you're asking questions, you're wanting to move over here, but I can't say, hey, you come move your accounts here. Okay. Right. Per my attorney's recommendations, right? Wow. Because we don't want to get sued by Uncle Ed. Yeah. Okay. So to answer your question, it was a lot of things behind. I didn't just get up one day and quit and they have no plan. No. So I think that teaches a lot of us we sometimes need to operate in silence, right? We just get up and do it. Yeah. People are not going to understand what you're doing until like, oh, I get it, right? I get it. I see what she was doing, right? I see what she was doing. So Does that help answer?
Yeah, it does.
So there was a lot of planning. I would say almost 3 to 4 years researching broker dealers. That's very important to me in terms of who am I going to have help me on the backside, on the back end in terms of support our back office. That's important to me. Understanding all the support on that side. So doing a lot of research, business plan, really being serious about it because it is a life altering decision.
Yes,
You're
it
quitting a
is.
job of almost 12, 13 years
Yeah.
to be fully independent, to be fully a full entrepreneur, CEO, founder. You only get one shot to get it right.
You have the support of your family, your mom and dad. They had they had your
and
back.
I tend to, I ride a motorcycle and I do all these things. They're like, oh, that's our child. Like you did this. Like you should not be surprised. You created this, right? So I think my mom's a little more concerned. And I think the funniest thing was I got my QuickBooks up and I had my first paycheck and I needed the stub. It's direct deposit, but I print out the stub. My mom said, "You get paid?" I was like, "You think I don't know. I can't just be doing this for free." So I think it's funny, like, yes, this is my job now. That I'm the W-2 to my own LLC S corp. But that's just something. They're very supportive, and then, if I need help, I can. My goal is not to, right? But if I know they're there, but this is something that I have put in place that I want to be. I want to be helping them. They're in their golden years, So they're very proud, and my dad calls me a Zulu warrior. That's a little nickname. Like, okay, Zulu, you got it.
Well, that's good because a lot of people say when they start a business, the first year is like a struggle bus, and you don't start paying yourself.
Well, I built it in through funding,
so
I built it in, and I'm being very modest and I'm being
Yeah.
very mindful of my spending, right? Just to be sure. And of course, I have an employee too, so definitely that's always top of mind. Pay your employees, right? Manage that, and then manage the revenue, manage building your clientele up. So my goal is within the first 3 years to at least be breaking even and profitable. That's the goal, and I'm tracking that way. And God's been good, and I'm just like, you know what? Can't be scared. Don't look. Just keep going. This is something that I can elevate myself. I can be an advocate for people to start a business, right? I'm being a leader in a different way than when I was at Edward Jones. When I'm talking to business owners, it's different. Now I'm over here in this quadrant, right? I'm over here in this quadrant, as me, helping either individuals or business owners, and I'm learning. Your circle. Now I'm talking to people to buying them buildings, buying businesses, right? So that's the whole thing. If you're the smartest person in the room, leave. Get into, and then you have to be outside your comfort zone. Right.
Wow. Okay. So when did you move to Easton?
So that was in June. So I was in, Stonebridge was, that was last year. So June of last year was the move to Easton to launch Elevated Wealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. That's awesome. And then you have your assistant, Carol. So you got one employee.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So what is something about finance that people think is complicated? But you know how to make it like you got this.
Even just understanding some of the basics around stocks and some market. I break it down into, we know how to buy shoes and purses, or we know how to buy houses. Let's just do it in analogies. Even an annuity wholesaler, he said, you have a very interesting way of explaining complex scenarios. So I'll break down annuities. Like, let's just talk, that word's intimidating. Let's break it down into, we know Social Security. Social Security is annuity. So thinking about things in terms of what we know and then converting it to something. So always finding that place we can feel comfortable with and then elevating it to the next level. But I feel that our discomfort with these terms prevent us from using these tools of building wealth. So if I can help, as an educator in me, my mom and my aunts and my grandparents, like if I can help you feel comfortable about how these work, you're more likely to use it. You're more likely to help share it with someone else in a way that makes sense instead of these fancy financial terms, if that helps. So it always goes back to that.
Okay. Very good. Now, is this book about finance or
There is one chapter.
Okay.
So
how did this book come about?
Oh gosh. So I had started writing. I like to write, and I do write poetry and some other things, but I just started writing it probably about 2 years ago, and I put it down for a little bit. And then I would say between two people kind of brought it back to life. My admin, I shared it with my admin when I started writing. about, how can I help women, particularly women, or it could be anyone, particularly women from my lens, feel great about all aspects of their life, right? Not just finance, but self-image, exercise, diet, spirituality, self-talk, all these things, and the things that I learned, and I would like to craft that. And I put it down for a little bit. And my head was like, you need to write this book. You need to write this book. This is amazing. So then fast forward, I was talking with a client who has written books, and she's just talking. She's like, so Carol, Carol's a way of sharing. Carol, tell about this book. And I started telling like, I'm going to introduce you to some publisher. So now it gets real like, oh, shoot, I'm talking to somebody's publisher editor. So, start talking, and then I put some money. Now, here's the thing, you put some money on the line. Like, okay, I'm motivated now. Like, when we start put a deposit with a publisher editor, I had a deadline. So this was the fall of last year. So I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna make my birthday's in February. This is my goal. I want this book out on Amazon by my birthday. So I became obsessive after work. I am writing. I'm just writing. I'm writing. And it just started flowing. And weekends writing. And finally we started editing, and it became, then it's like the cover. And it's like, oh my gosh, this thing is taking a life, and it's about to happen. I did design the cover. That is Canva AI. Okay. And the reason I wanted something to attract not just Black women, not white women, Asian. I just wanted something beautiful that could speak to women. Mm-hmm. Like I said, men have read it, they like it, but it's my lens as a Black woman. It's my lens as a woman in here. And then the pretty mind, the pretty does have the acronym.
Yes, it does.
The acronym is putting repeatable effort towards transforming yourself. Putting repeatable effort towards transforming yourself. Yeah. Because what happens is we do these transformative things for like 3 months, and then we stop doing. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, well, shoot, I don't feel like I did when I was doing all those things. So it's not about just getting there. It's about keeping it. It's repeatable, habit stacking. So when I started thinking about all these different aspects, I was like, how can I outline this and create a boot camp? Now, if you're really going to stick with it, this is not meant to be just read and put down. It is meant to be read maybe over a year, right? Is at your speed, but you're really stacking habits, right? Or you're doing work. You're doing work. Yeah, you're journaling, but you're creating a plan. Okay, so for the I am statements, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to put note cards on the bathroom mirror? Are we going to have it on our nightstand? How are we going to really? And once that becomes a habit, what are we doing next? Maybe we need to meditate at night or use a lavender candle. Candle. I keep saying calendar. Candle. But what are the things we need to repeat to keep that calm? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we think about, man, that was so good, I stopped doing it. Remember when I used to? So it's like, how do we keep doing these things in all these areas? And it's hard work. It's not meant to be easy. Mm-hmm. I listen to a lot of Motiversity. It's motivation and university move together, but Motiversity. Okay. And I send it to my friends sometimes. But there's this one, I don't know which gentleman it is, like, pick your heart. It's hard being fat. It's hard going to the gym. It's hard being broke. It's hard being rich. It's hard. So at least if you're doing something hard, at least use the one that has rewards with it. Pick your heart. Pick your heart. It's hard being in pain. It's hard, being in pain from not moving or being in pain from moving. Pick your heart.
I'm not going to have to dive
Yes, let me know what you think. But there's journaling opportunities at the end. Okay. It is really about focus and discipline. Mm-hmm. We can have motivation, but if we don't have consistency and discipline, we're not going to get anywhere. Because motivation is fleeting sometimes.
Now, did this come about on a trip? When you're like a girlfriend?
Right. So it was one of those things. I'm coming back, and it's one of those. It sounds like it's like a movie, right? Where Airbnb, perfect place, but beautiful women of different professions that outwardly we would think we have it all together, but just things people are struggling with. People are depressed. They don't like their bodies. People don't like their relationships. People don't like them. I'm like, wow, this is not. And I'm sitting there like, I'm okay. I think I feel good in all these areas. And then I'm feeling guilty, but it's like, okay, this is making me sad because all these beautiful women outward and, from a distance having everything together don't feel like they have it all together. Mm-hmm. And I started piecing that together in the areas and like, well, this is what I would share with people.
That makes me think about being whole.
Yes, being whole.
You're not.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, you got all those things, negative conversages with yourself.
Right. We need to get rid of that. Yeah. Get rid of that. And to get rid of it, it's going to take some work. Yeah. It's going to try to creep back in there. Mm-hmm. We have to fight that.
That's why it's repeatable.
And then just what you talked about, one of my friends was interesting because, we talked about no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Mm-hmm. And then my one friend said, yeah, that means that we just have to have a bigger weapon. So sometimes I always say I didn't have a weapon. I just for some reason I envisioned I had no weapon. I'm like, shit, I was like, who's to say I don't have a weapon? Like we have to fight for life, right?
Yeah.
We have to fight for the things we want, and it's hard. So yeah, it's constant battle, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. We have to fight if we want to have that sense of peace.
Yeah. This is so good. So what was your writing process like when you wrote the book?
It was a laptop anywhere, everywhere.
Anywhere.
Right. Just sitting down. I outline the themes, and then I just start flowing. And I know storytelling. So I tell about my childhood. I tell some stories. For example, certain animals. I love animals, but for example, the bison, they will walk into the storm. They don't walk away. Ooh. So that's the thing. We could always embrace the bison because they know if they walk into the storm, they can get through it faster. Right? Okay. Versus if you're always running from the storm, right? You're just exhausting yourself. The storm could get you, but the bison innately, they're built for it. They're strong. They get through it. It probably doesn't feel great. You see the pictures of the bisons, all the snow all over them, but they're fighting. They're getting through the storm. Mm-hmm. So I was like, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's.
I also learned, I didn't fact check it, but I learned that sharks can't swim backwards. They die. That's how they're built. Ooh, they can't swim backwards and you die. Think about that. You have to go forward. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
So there's just things with the animal kingdom that, little things we can pick up. And it's like, wow, we need to be like some of these animals.
All these examples.
But they just showing storytelling and just if we can something resonates with us to help us hold on to why we're doing this. Mm-hmm. What's your why? Yeah. Ultimately.
I love that, Chamie. Yeah. Ooh, this is so good.
Getting pumped up, right?
Getting pumped up. Yes. I'm ready. Okay. So was there anything about faith that shaped the way you approached Pretty Minds? Or
being prayerful when I was writing and really just saying, okay, please allow me the ability to help, even if it's just one person, but help somebody, even if I've never met them, help somebody wake up the next day and want to take a step forward to make small changes, to feel better about themselves and, let that ripple effect stir. Right. Because the world, there's some people suffering from anxiety and depression, and it can be paralyzing. Right. And then that's a real effect. That energy is put into other people. So we can create that shift of positive energy with ourselves by doing these things. It's going to outwardly make our communities better. Right. Yeah. Starting with each one of our lights. Mm-hmm. But if our lights are dim or if lights are out, if we're scared, that doesn't do anyone any good.
Yeah. So good, Chamie. Oh my God.
So that's my hope, that it could at least get some more lights out there in our community. Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite chapter?
Think about that. My favorite chapter. They each speak to me differently. I would say I'm going to go with the accountability one because I had to make some changes in myself, because as an only child, as someone who used to being maybe the only Black person, the only person, only female in the class, I tend to be more of a loner. But what I realized was I was missing out on opportunities to actually get better by being more vulnerable and teaming up with somebody. And I was first forced to do this at Edward Jones, and I hated it. But it was the best thing for me because I started thinking like, wow, okay, let me be open-minded. Let me hear what they're saying. Help me be better. Let this person challenge me. Because it was awkward to have someone else outside of my family, outside of my, to open up with, because you have to open up to your accountability partner. Mm-hmm. And it really forced me to have a different lens. And now I love accountability partners. I have various accountability partners that look different genders, different sexes, different. It opens up your world. It challenges you. Yes. Right. And then it opens up the door, not only accountability partners, but coaching, business coaches, spiritual coaches. So it was really pivotal for me to say, okay, Chamie, why don't you want someone else up in your business pointing things out? Okay. When you're up in their client's business pointing things out. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute. I don't like that. So wait a minute. So yes. So I had to challenge myself to be more open-minded. Mm-hmm. And then from that point on, my learning actually accelerated once I took it to whole heart and started realizing like, other people have great ideas. Other people can see things you can't see. Right. So if you leverage these accountability partners, you leverage these coaches, they're there for a reason. And God puts the right people there at the right time. And you have to be open-minded to grab onto that.
That's right.
So that was something I had to learn myself, that it's okay.
Yeah, even if it feel like porcupine needles.
Hmm.
It's like it's for a reason.
Right, like,
This is
ooh,
helping
wait, I
you.
felt
I
that.
know.
I
Yeah.
know, like, I didn't
Ouch.
like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, but it was meant for me, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe an hour has passed by
I
that
know. We
quick.
could
That's
go on and
crazy.
on.
I
Like,
know. It's so crazy. But I want you to look
yes.
into this camera. It doesn't have to be women, but it
Okay.
can be anybody that you can talk to and just inspire them either about writing the book or just
Yes.
anything financial just to help
I think in
us.
general, I just talk
And you've helped
high
us a
level
lot today.
because
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be a published author. Never thought I was going to be a certified financial planner. Never, 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 never. We got to remove the never out of our vocabulary. I would encourage you to be optimistic, be a continuous learner, be open-minded, allow the right people to help guide you, coach you, help you be accountable. Whatever that looks like, you can do it. Use your mindset and your habits to get you there, whether it's financial or anything you want to do with your life. So I encourage you to take those steps.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you're going to come back.
Yes.
We didn't get near.
Yes, I love to come back.
Yeah, you got to come back.
We'll continue this.
Yeah, it's going to be a continual. So maybe before the end of the year,
Okay.
we'll bring you back so people can start thinking about the first of the year.
Yes, that's a good time where it's new year, new you, and
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
get running with that.
Okay. Awesome. I know you guys enjoyed it as much as I'm fired up. Okay. I'm so
I
excited.
haven't had coffee yet.
Yeah.
I know.
And I don't drink coffee, but I'm just like so excited. This has been so good. And Chamie, again, you do have to come back. So we're going to bring you, I'm going to get with you. We're going to find a date
Absolutely.
to bring you back before the year ends. So, but anyway, you guys go make it a great day. Make sure you stay tuned. Go subscribe to this channel and Gray and I Slay on podcast and on Instagram. You can find me there as well as Gray and I Slay. So make sure you age well, be bold, be confident. Don't let anybody tell you how you should age, how you should dress. You do it your way, and you just be proud of who you are, okay? Because we're staying visible, and they want to try to hide us, make us hide. We're not. We are a force to be dealt with. So you just keep that in your mind, your mindset, that you will not let anybody dim your light. We're going to stay strong, be bold, age well, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Susie. See you later.